Assalamu alaikum guys, and hello, welcome to another video on my YouTube channel. If you are new to this channel, thank you so much for passing by. Please remember to hit the subscribe button and like this video. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. Also remember to hit the like button. Previously, we have been talking about the concept of industrial attachment and how to write an industrial attachment report. These are the basic things that somebody has to do in order for them to be eligible to graduate. Today we are talking about something else that is really important, which is the project proposal. If you haven't watched the videos I have mentioned and they are relevant to you at the moment, you can check on the links down below to watch. Now today we are looking at how to write a project proposal. Let's get started. A project proposal is this idea that you want to pitch to your lecturer, something that you are proposing to work on as your final project. And this proposal is very important because it will determine whether you're going to proceed with that project or you're going to put it aside and pick another project. So you really have to work on it. Add as much flesh as you can to it so that it can be meaningful. You could be having a very good project, but then you don't back it up well with enough information, with relevant data, and that makes your project not good enough, and your lecturer or your supervisor could tell you not to work on that project just because you did not represent it well enough. A project proposal has two main parts: the preliminary pages and the main sections. Something else I also want to note is that different courses have different ways of writing a project proposal, but there are some things that are just basic, and this is what this video is going to cover, like the main sections that are going to be in every course that you are pursuing. So for you to know how your outline of the project proposal is supposed to be, you need to consult with your supervisor or lecturer so that they can give you an outline of what they are expecting from you. So let's start with the preliminary pages. The preliminary pages include the title page, they include the acknowledgement page, they include the declaration page, the acknowledgement page, the dedication page, and the table of content. Briefly, let's talk about the title page. Your title page is also a very important part of your research proposal, and it should contain the logo of the university. This shows that the work is something you are doing for your university, and you need to mention the department of the university you are in, the course you're pursuing. You need to talk about your supervisor, keep their details there. You need to talk about your name, your admission number, and also state your email. Something that I want to highlight is the title. The title is also part of the title page. It is very important that when you are talking, when you are picking your title, you pick something that is definite, something that really glues your lecturer or your supervisor and tells them exactly what you are solving. Let's also talk about the declaration page. The declaration page, basically you declare that the work that you are presenting to your supervisor, to your lecturer, is your work. So it contains that statement of declaration, and it contains your name, your admission number, and your signature. And you also have to keep a place where your supervisor is supposed to sign. You also have to include their name and the place where they're supposed to sign and the date, so that when you submit it to them, they sign that this is actually Mwanamisi's work, and I acknowledge that, or I declare that this is their work. Another important thing is the acknowledgement, whereby you're supposed to appreciate the people that helped you in this proposal, acknowledge your supervisor, acknowledge yourself for being patient throughout the process, and God, and whoever you want to acknowledge. The dedication page is basically showing who this project is dedicated to, and you have to make it as short as possible and as clear as possible. The other preliminary page is the table of contents, which is usually created after you have finished writing everything in your research proposal. So guys, let's now go to the main sections of a research proposal. The first section in the main sections is the introduction part. Now, the introduction part, basically, you're supposed to give a summary of what your research proposal is solving. And it is good to start with statistics that show the current situation, the current systems that are there to solve a similar problem. And then you have to make sure that these statistics are showing a gap that your project is going to work on. Now, after showing that gap, you need to elaborate what exactly is your research proposal solving, okay? And then you have to explain in summary what you're going to do to solve the current problem, and make sure you link the solving part to the existing system or to the existing literature work. So basically, that is it with the introduction. You can have the first paragraph with the statistics elaborating the current situation of the problem you are trying to solve, and then come to a part where you show the gap using the statistics, and then come to a part where you are telling us what exactly your project proposal is going to solve in summary. Another important section is the background of the study. So basically, in the background of the study, you are telling us the existing systems, the existing literature work, and how this literature work has contributed to solving the current problem. And then you need to highlight the gap using the literature work that you have read. Now, you must have done a lot of reading, different literature works related to the problem that you are solving, for you to know where the gap is and whatever you are planning to solve in your research. So, background of the study, we need to have a picture of what is existing. We need to have a picture of what you're solving. And we need to have a relationship between what is existing and what you are solving. So you are not just solving something that is out of the blue. You are solving something that maybe some people have tried to solve. So you need to have done a lot of research for you to know what gap you're feeling, and for you to connect the existing system to the system that you are bringing in. The third and important section is the research questions. Now, the research questions basically show the direction of your research. You need to have two or one main question that show exactly what you're solving and what is going to help you to come up with these questions. You need to have read different literature works, at least 3 to 5 or even 5 to 10, depending on how you are capable of investing time in this research. Yeah, so the more you read different papers, the more you'll notice the gaps in the work that is existing. So if you read, let's say, 2 to 5 literature papers, you're going to have at least 5 questions and to answer in your proposal. So you're going to get more clarity on what you're solving, and it's going to help you back up information that you are providing in your research. So for you to have definite or good research questions, you need to invest in reading literature research papers that are available. That is going to help you, first of all, in writing a winning background study section, and it's also going to help you come up with the perfect questions or the important questions that your research is solving, because you are coming up with these questions based on the research papers that you have used and the gaps that you have discovered based on the research papers that you have read. So it would be good if you invest in reading research papers here. The fourth and important section is the research methodology or the research method. Now, in this section, you are telling us the criteria you are going to use to solve the gap that you have highlighted in your research questions, the gap that you have highlighted in your background of study, the gap you have highlighted in your introduction. So we want to see what methodology are you going to use to conduct your research. In this section of research methodology, you also want to justify why you're using the method you're using. If you're using quantitative analysis over qualitative analysis, you need to tell us why you're doing that. And as I have stated before, different courses have different methodologies. If you're working on an IT project, your research methodology can be different from a person doing a business course, okay? if you're working on a project on artificial intelligence, for example, you might be required to highlight concepts like the algorithms that you're going to use, and why are you choosing that algorithm, how is that algorithm so accurate, and why are you leaving the other algorithms. Okay, so this is a place where you have to give a lot of information, that this is a section that is so bulky. You need to show us why you're choosing the methodology that you have chosen, why are you leaving the other methodologies, and you have to be convincing. This is like the engine of your research. You have to make sure that the methods you are using make sense. Yeah. So another thing you also want to bring in is to bring the aspect of the challenges you are going to face in your the challenges you will be facing in using those methodologies. You know, let's say for example, a person doing a project that is AI related, artificial intelligence related, they could be having challenges with the algorithm that they have chosen. Now, what kind of measures are they going to take for them to be able to counter those challenges that they are going to be facing? So you need to be genuine. Don't try to act so perfect. You also need to highlight the challenges that the methodology you have picked has. Yes guys, so if you do that, you're basically done with the research methodology, and we can move on to the next section. The other important section, which is section number 5, I believe, is the significance of the study. Now, the significance of the study section basically answers these questions. You need to tell us, why is your project important? What problem is it solving? How original is it? And how is it linked to the existing system or the existing literature work? So you need to give us a pitch that is going to show that your project is really important. Section number 6 is actually the timeline or the budget. You need to show, and this is applicable across all courses. It can either have the title of budget or the timeline. Basically, you need to show how you're going to be working on your project. You have given us a methodology, you have given us your background of study, you have given us the objectives. Now show us how you're going to be working on your project. So you can have like, if let's say you are doing this project proposal in a whole semester, so you can plan your time of research based on that. So maybe you can say the first and the second week, or the first and the second month, or whatever you choose, you will be working on the literature review, you will be reading literature work, and the second week or the third week or the fourth week, you're going to be working on the background study, you're going to be working on the methodology. Like, you just need to outline how you are going to be doing your work in your research. That is basically what the timeline or the budget talks about. When we talk about the budget, we are bringing in the concept of finances, and most of our research papers really do not really bring the aspect of finances. But if you have done a broad research and you want to bring the concept of finances in, then that's good for you. But basically, you can just use the timeline frame for most of us, or for most of you. Yeah, so guys, let's move to the other section, which I was almost forgetting, which is the literature review. Now, literature review is basically the existing literary work that is related to the topic that you want to talk about in your project or your proposal. So you need to have done an intensive reading. So let's say you want to research on this project, how you can search for images in the gallery app using machine learning algorithms. Okay, so if this is your topic, you need to look for projects that have done something related to that. Let's say projects that work on searching images using machine learning algorithm. That is general. Remember, your aspect is specific to the gallery app. Okay, you want to use machine learning algorithms in searching for images in the gallery app. So you need to read other works. You need to read other people's work so that you can see the problem you are solving and what they did to where they are right now. So the literature review, basically you are just highlighting the existing work, and the literature review is important because it's going to give you objectives of what you are going to solve in your research proposal. So the last and important section is the references. And the references, basically you are acknowledging the papers that you have used in your research. So you need to put them there. If you have used 5 research papers, if you have used YouTube videos to do your research, you need to put everything in your reference so that you can show that you did not just pick this information somewhere, you took your time to read, you took your time to research. So those are the most important sections in writing a research proposal. So guys, that is it for today. It's been a pleasure taking you through how to write a project proposal. I really feel honored to have helped you in your journey. If you have benefited in any way, remember to engage by liking or commenting and share this with somebody who will be needing it. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, ma salam, bye.